Hello, inmates, and welcome back to the cellblock Scorch. I'm Styx, and I will be reading my piece, Museum of Curiosities. Cricket gave the prompt for this week, which was, on the last day of the Earth around noon, cracks will begin to form. I don't have a lot of philosophizing to do about this piece before we get started, so I say we just jump straight in. Museum of Curiosities. The world's greatest museum is open from 9 to 5 on weekdays, except for an hour on Thursdays, when the curator crosses the street to play backgammon with friends in the little attic above Mistress Olivier's emporium of dice and clock-themed kitchenware. On Saturdays, the museum hosts private events, weddings, funerals, summonings, and the like. Most recently, it was the location of a 4-year-old's birthday party, which was widely regarded a resounding success. Everyone left with a personalized gift bag and a prophetic warning. The museum boasts a number of curiosities, far too many to describe here, far too many to describe at all. The curator spent nearly a year trying. He intended to make a virtual tour for the new generation of technologically savvy tourists. But the first 5 people to sit through it unanimously agreed that the birds. At which point, he shelved the project indefinitely. To the curator's great relief, all 5 have since reached out to assure him that they're really quite comfortable at their respective mental institutions. But the fact remains that it's better, really, if no one attempts to comprehend the full extent of the museum's contents. Despite its many, many wonders, the museum exists for one purpose only. It's in the south-southeast wall, tucked into the grout between the 348th and 349th brick. It looks like a seed. It is a seed. It's a seed in all the ways that matter. On first glance, the shell looks like black marble. If you look closer, you'll realize that it's actually midnight blue. If you look closer still, you'll see galaxies spinning across the surface. This shell has withstood sands and storms, centuries at the bottom of the sea, and the pressure at the center of the earth. On the last day of the Earth around noon, cracks will begin to form. Shoots will curl out of the breaks, searching for the sunlight. Eyes will open, fingers will stretch, the fragments of shell will become shimmering scales on a creature's back. The creature will swell with a series of heaving breaths. Finally, it will open its mouth and sink its teeth into the crust of the earth. The earth will shatter. The earth will be swallowed. The creature will curl up around the remnants of its meal, a cosmic monster in the vast expanse of space. There it will sleep, catching moons in its orbit as it dreams. A new world will begin on its back. When you see the seed, you will not find it particularly striking. But every night for the next 5 nights, you will dream the same dreams that every visitor has dreamed since the museum opened. On the first night, you will be the sun. You will know nothing but the fire in your belly, the pressure on your shoulders. On the second night, you will be the moon. You will watch the world below you be replaced by some new, strange thing. You will have the choice to fall into it or to leave it behind. On the third night, you will be the earth, and you will be consumed. On the fourth night, you will be the monster. You will not remember the 5th dream, but when you wake up, you will be forever changed. Entry costs $4.50 or a lost key. Students and seniors enter at a discounted rate, which will be extracted long after you've forgotten what you owe, so gently that you will not even notice.
All right, Cricket here with judge comments. This is such a dramatic prompt, and the pieces I got this week were so fun. Long pause while I try to remember the names, the aliases we're using for the Scorch. Okay. The pieces that I got this week were so fun. Grishmak and Rev both wrote these really short little pieces. Rev wrote a bit of a conversation. It's really funny. And Grishmak wrote kind of an interesting poem type piece. I've picked at various points in the Scorch several of Grishmak's poem type of pieces for the win. This week, unfortunately, was not one of those. But they're both cool little pieces, and I would encourage you to go check out the Embers on our Patreon if you have the willpower and the cash to spare. But Styx, oh, this piece is so fun. I'm obsessed with Styx as a writer. This is a known fact. And one thing that she is really good at is creating like a world. And I loved this piece for that. Like, it feels so whole. There's just like a lot happening. It's really intriguing and mysterious, and like, I want to know more. I want to go play backgammon in the attic above Mistress Olivie's emporium of dice and clock themed kitchenware. I want to go to the emporium of dice and clock themed kitchenware. Yeah, like, I loved the mystery in this, and then how fantastical it kind of feels, the turn that it kind of takes. I love the idea that there's this museum of everything, but it exists kind of only to hold the seed, which is also everything. Yeah, I just really liked this piece. It's not that long, but it feels so, there's just so much in it. It's so just like full of detail and full of life, and I really loved that. Also, the entrance fee being $4.50 or a lost key was just like very funny to me. So there you have it.
And that's that. I'm assuming because you're sitting here listening to an indie podcast that you're probably familiar with the quintessential fictional podcast, which is Welcome to Night Vale. As you can probably tell, Welcome to Night Vale was a key character influence for me. I don't even remember who recommended it to me at first, but it was probably someone in this group. Probably Cricket. I love you, Cricket. Thank you. You changed my life. Yeah, I will say that I don't think that this piece has the strong characters that you'll experience in Welcome to Night Vale. If you haven't listened to it yet, which you totally should. I know that there are lots of friends and family that are listening to this, and maybe if you are a friend or a family member listening to this podcast out of the goodness of your heart, like, you know, the same kind of small-scale pride that makes parents pin pictures on their fridge. If that's your motivation for listening to this podcast, you may not be aware of the masterpiece that is Welcome to Night Vale, and I highly recommend it. And I don't remember where that thought even began, other than, oh, I think maybe I was talking about characters. I think ultimately, the character of the curator could be really fun. And the character of Mistress Olivier, who you don't know anything about. And the characters of the 5 people who were driven mad. I could play a lot in this world, I think. I don't know if I'm going to, but it does feel low stakes enough that I could. The Scorch has been kind of fun for that. Having us, you know, flip through old stuff and resurrect old worlds, old dreams. I think that's all I've got for this one. I will give you the prompt that I gave for the next week, which is fate? No, just one road out of many. So, without further ado, keep that fire burning. I will see you, hear you. You will hear me, I suppose, in the future. 1 or 2 weeks, probably.
The Cellblock Scorch is a production of Stellacore, an independent group of nerds sharing their obsessions with the world. We can be reached at thestellacore@gmail.com, through comments on your podcast platform of choice, our Instagram, Stella_core, and at our YouTube, also called Stellacore. Feel free to check out our other productions on our YouTube channel or our cosplays on Instagram. If you would like to support our creative endeavors, you can give a one-time tip to the Ko-Fi of the writer of your favorite Scorches, or check out our Patreon, linked in the show notes. There, you can access the winning Scorches and episode transcripts for free, or sign up for Spark level support for $5 a month to gain access to all of the Scorch submissions.